Hey everybody, so I hope you're having a really fantastic day. Today I've got a really exciting video for you all that I spent the whole morning prepping for. I was going through a bunch of old photographs and it was super nostalgic and just so much fun to have a look back at like really old photos of me and kind of work out pretty much my whole hair journey from when I was really tiny. So I'm going to share that with you guys today. If you're interested, stick with me. I kind of think it's going to be fun. So let's start with when I was really little. When I was a couple of years old, I actually had really straight hair. I wasn't one of those cute girls with tiny little ringlets. I had really super poker straight hair and it was really super blonde as well. My mum, I'm pretty sure, just cut it and it's in this like bowl cut. I kind of look really cute. And then by the time I got to primary school, I started to develop frizz, as I knew it then, and just kind of like a wisp, like a bit of a curl. I basically from that point on started putting it up in a ponytail. And I think, I don't know whether it was just mum did that just because it was easier or I did that because I was frustrated with it. I don't really remember. There are a lot of pictures of me as a kid with my hair up. Now, this actually lasted way into my secondary school years. And I would really like properly suck it back from my head, like try and get all of the frizzy bits to like disappear. And then when I didn't, I just had this like kind of like frizzy bit that was there. I occasionally experimented with having like a fringe or bangs or whatever you want to call them. And every time I did it, it was a mistake because I didn't understand how to use a hairdryer and crimpers existed at the time, but straighteners were not quite invented yet. So the big turning point for me was when I turned 16. I had my hair all cut off about the day before my dad's wedding, and it was one of the worst hair decisions I've ever made in my life. And if I could go back and change it, I would, but I can't. And it was a good learning experience. So I went into hairdressers and said like, oh, I'd really like to have my hair a bit more curly. So what they did was gave me like a really layered cut, but it was also really short. So straight, it was probably up to there. And then the layers were up to like here. So thankfully, straight after that, after like looking okay for the wedding because it had been styled by the hairdresser, I discovered straighteners fairly rapidly. I got myself a pair of GHDs. I went straight in with ceramic straighteners because I knew it was slightly better for your hair and that it would like last longer. And I was addicted to those for about 10 years, as you're about to see in photos. I pretty much just straightened it and then curled it with the straighteners occasionally. It was kind of more of the fashion to have really straight hair. Even my graduation picture, it's poker straight. Because it was my way of dealing with the frizz and just managing my hair and not feeling like my hair was kind of like this big mess. I felt really good with my hair like that at the time, and look back on photos, I think it just is like such a pancake flat thing next to my head. So then the year after that, I went traveling with a friend of mine around the world, and this is when I started experimenting with my hair. It was only like a 5 or 6 week trip, but the first stop we got to, I basically was like, I'm buying a box of hair dye, we're doing it. I did a semi-permanent, which ended up being quite permanent, kind of like redder tinge. So it actually went kind of ginger in a lot of photos. But in most photos I actually really like the colour on me. And then by the time I got back home from that trip, I basically dyed it really, really dark. And if you go back to some of my original videos, you can see me with that haircut and colour that I did. So I cut it all off and it's really, really dark and it's this like short bob. So it was quite a dramatic change for me, but I was super like excited about it. I thought it was like Paris chic. I really liked it. And then the following year, my hair was still really short because my hair takes so long to grow. But I kind of embraced a bit more of a like voluminous curly look, thankfully. It looked really great for Paris. I really, really liked it. So the year after that, I met my future husband. I remember meeting him and my hair being like this. I was going through a phase of always curling it with the straighteners. It was a very good phase. I kind of liked it. But I remember the first time he was going to see me with my real hair, and I was absolutely freaked out about it for a whole week. We were going to a lake and we were going to do this like cool lake activity thing, and we were wearing wetsuits, and I knew my hair would get wet, and I knew that the changing facilities were limited and that my hair would dry and it would dry curly. But I just didn't know what he was going to think and whether he would think I was like ugly and dump me, which is stupid because, you know, I should have known better. I was like 25 or something, 24. He didn't dump me. In fact, he said like that he really liked my hair like that and he'd always dreamt of marrying someone with curly hair. And that was the beginning of a very long journey of both marriage and me embracing my curly hair. So thank you, Pete. So in the year after we got married, I was still pretty much just straightening my hair every day. I had a full-time job. I thought it was a lot more professional to have my hair done every single day. And every time I tried to just let my hair dry naturally, it was kind of a disaster because the bottom half was so dead from straightening. It was basically just straight. And then the top part was kind of like frizzy, but a little bit curly. And so it looked really kind of weird. So it kind of took me another year to pluck up enough courage to really try and embrace my curls again. I started going to work with my real hair. Although I hadn't found out about the curly girl method yet, all I was basically doing was just letting it dry naturally and kind of using a bit more conditioner. It was kind of very frizzy still. I really hadn't discovered gel or mousse or any kind of product like that. I actually pretty much spent most of the time with my hair like clipped back these top bits, because the top bits were the bits that were like the most frizzy and the bits underneath looked the nicest. So I just clipped back the top bits and it was absolutely fine. I mean, granted, it was still really damaged and really frizzy and still needed a lot of work, but I continued like this into the following year as well, into 2015. Every holiday we went on, I would just let my hair free and just kind of do its own thing and keep it down as much as possible rather than putting it up, which was kind of my tendency when I was at work. I did not feel nearly as professional with my hair like that at all. I didn't feel as confident. I didn't feel as awesome going into meetings. I kind of really feel like in hindsight I was invited to meetings less because of my hair and looking less professional, especially meetings with clients and stuff like that. I would not have an issue going with my hair like this because there's like no frizz, it looks really put together, but definitely with my hair like it was, it probably didn't look too professional. So then fast forward to when we moved to Belgium, which was a couple of years ago. I'd had all the pregnancy hormones, all the breastfeeding hormones, and my hair was super duper long. I really, really loved it long, and that's my aim again for the future, is to get it really long. It's already started growing much quicker since I've been pregnant, and hopefully will continue into breastfeeding like it did last time. So when we landed in Belgium, I probably spent the first year and a bit just straightening it or curling it with straighteners or putting it in a side braid because I wanted to protect it. That felt like the best way of keeping it manageable, especially when I had a little baby. And also I felt a bit more like European chic with my hair like that. And I still love the photos of my hair where it's really long and it's got a little bit of a curl to it. I still think it looks really, really nice. Anyhow, kind of in 2017, I realised that if we were going to come back to the UK and I was going to get a job, that it might be quite a good idea for me to sort of start the transition process again with the curly hair, because I had realised that it was going to be a long transition period to get my hair back to really good health. I think that's why I just put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off, and I just thought, right, let's just do it, because I felt like I'd got the time and the energy. So I started just letting my hair dry naturally again, and it was again really, really damaged, but I had seen some glimpses of like a little curl occasionally that would just be like just in the right place. I'd think, oh, if only my whole hair, like head of hair, was like this. I still had so many days in that year where my hair just looks so damaged. But I just did it anyway because, you know, I had a little baby and it didn't really matter and I wasn't going to a job, so it could just kind of look as it wanted to. But I was still only doing that about half the time, and the other half of the time I was straightening it. So we weren't really getting anywhere, other than I'd had a few times where I felt like my hair looked quite good, curly. So then let's fast forward to the beginning of 2018, which is kind of when I discovered the curly girl method and really put my all into actually embracing the curly hair rather than doing this half and half thing. I think by this point I'd really figured that the curl was going to happen all over my hair. It wasn't going to be this frizzy mess, and there was going to be a way for me to move forward. I was doing treatments, like deep conditioning treatments. I was putting oil in my hair a lot and just trying to get the condition back to feeling really good and try and erase some of the damage that I'd done for the past decade. The last time I straightened my hair myself was the February of 2018. I just look at that picture and I think it just doesn't really look like me. So then it only took about a month until probably the March where my hair started to look actually good, and there were curls going on at the bottom and curls starting to happen at the front. It just didn't take very long for it to start feeling and looking so much better, and I think that's probably when my hair looked some of its best, actually, was in probably the March of 2018. So then I kind of went for a few months just doing exactly the same thing, but I noticed that there was still loads of damage from all of the years of abuse that I'd done to my hair. So I decided to start chopping it. Anytime there was a piece that didn't curl perfectly, I'd snip it up to the point at which it stopped curling perfectly, if that made sense. And I just keep doing this for basically, I think it was like all of July, until my hair was actually quite short. Now, I actually don't think my hair looks too bad in any of the photos, and that self-trimming can really work on curly hair because you can see the shape of your hair better, and so long as you don't go like too crazy, then your hair can be really forgiving because of the curl. And then basically as it got shorter, the curls got tighter and shinier and glossier and nicer and healthier, and I really loved my hair in that autumn period of last year. It was just shiny and full and lovely and luscious, and I was really enjoying the curl. One of the best things I did as well is just to take a lot of photos every time it looked good, because then anytime it looked bad, I would just be like, oh, it's just a bad day. It's not bad hair, it's just a bad day. And I could look back on those photos and think, oh, I actually like my hair, I do. Then towards the end of last year, I'd basically done so much self-trimming of my hair that my hair was actually really short, and I needed to go see a professional to have it just cut off because it had gone wonky. The layers had gone just super wonky, so I went and had it professionally done, did a video about that cut, and I still really love the cut that I had then. But yeah, it was super duper short. I don't love my hair super short, but it was really interesting to see all of the damage go and really start from scratch. Then in the January of this year, I discovered the Denman brush and discovered ringlet curls. I did a whole video about it because I was so excited, and I still think that some of my best hair when it's really short is when it had ringlets from the Denman done like perfectly, and it just looks so nice. So if you've not seen that video, you should, because I just love my hair like that. Anyway, my hair has basically been growing out since then. It's been growing super fast because of the pregnancy hormones. The things that I've kind of really tried to embrace this year as well, because last winter I was really kind of down in the dumps about how long it was taking to do my hair and all of the products I needed, the expense of it all, and I just tried to simplify everything. And so I've really just embraced a more simple routine, a bit of a more relaxed attitude towards my hair, and kind of learn to put it up in different ways. But also I think as I've gone on in the curly girl method, my hair's a lot more forgiving. I can go for much longer without washing it. I don't know, I just am so much more chill about my hair. I actually really kind of like when there's a bit of fluff and a bit of frizz to give it a bit more texture, a bit more of a lived in real kind of look. I don't like when it's like really perfect curls, like that's not really me. I like it to look a bit more romantic and a bit more messy. Anyhow, kind of going forwards from here, I'm just going to keep growing it and see how long I can get it, how tight the curls continue to be, and whether or not they're going to stretch out due to the weight of my hair, or whether now my hair's in better condition that actually the curl will kind of stay the same but just be longer. It's going to be really interesting to see. As you can see from all these photos, every single wash day I have is totally different. Some day it looks really ringlety, some days it looks super defined, other days it's kind of frizzy and natural. It just depends on what products I use, what the temperature and weather is like outside, what I'm doing that day, like how long I bothered to leave it before I scrunched it. I know how to make it look really good when I want it to, which is the most important thing. Anyway, this is my hair now and I really love it. This is wash day 1. I used to also really struggle with wash days. My hair never looked good on wash days. When I started, it always looked good on the second day when I refreshed it. Now I really just love wash days a lot. Don't really bother to refresh, and I can just go for like so much longer without having to do a proper refresh, which is really good. And I think a lot of that is to do with how I do my hair at night, but it's also just the strength of my hair and my curls. So it has become more low maintenance, but it has taken a very long time to get to this point and a lot of patience. So there you have it, that is my naturally curly hair journey. I hope that was really interesting to you guys. It was so much fun to go back through those old photos. Please let me know what your favourite photo is down below. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those there too. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Otherwise, I hope you have a really fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Bye.